Hey guys, what's going on? I am positive by now that most of you all know what happened downtown Nashville on Christmas morning. Now we're going to go over some video and we're going to go over some still photos. I also have a first-hand witness to this whole thing. We're going to go over all of it, we're going to analyze it, and I'm sure you guys are not going to be disappointed.
Okay.
Consistent saying, you know, evacuate this area. This vehicle is a bomb.
Hey guys, what's up and welcome back to the channel. You guys are watching Talks with Ryan. Like, share, and make sure and hit that subscribe button, and let's get into today's video. Alright guys, we're going to start this off with a short video clip and then probably roll right into the next one. I'm sure you guys have already seen a few of these, but in order to substantiate what I'm going to talk about in a little bit, I need to go ahead and watch these again. And just bear with me, guys. You're going to like this information.
That's a man and his dog. They've stopped. Now you'll see the officer come in from the right side. And the officer's speaking to him. Now listen to it. Keep listening.
Alright guys, here's an article from the Tennessean. A woman's voice warned downtown residents to evacuate before Christmas morning explosion that rocked Nashville. According to a witness described hearing the chilling message before fleeing with her family, Betsy Williams, who owns a melting pot building on 2nd Avenue, lived in a loft apartment above the 3rd floor of the building near the center of the blast. Williams said she left the area after she heard the recording play a countdown to the explosion. Now this is the exact same lady that we're going to hear the eyewitness testimony from here in just a minute. And what she says, I haven't heard anywhere else except for in her testimony. And I haven't even heard it on a lot of other news programs, but just stay tuned and stick with me guys, because this gets a little deeper and it seems like some of the other mainstream media news places are kind of trying to sweep this under the rug or play it off as something that it's not.
This area must be evacuated now. All buildings. This area must be evacuated now. All buildings. This area must be evacuated now. If you can hear this message, evacuate now. If you can hear this message, evacuate now.
Now just from that clip alone guys, we could hear a couple different things. We could definitely tell that the voice coming from the speaker was a female's voice. We could also hear a car alarm playing in the background. The car alarm in the other video is clearly a horn, while this one was more of a siren type alarm. Now we're going to go right into the next video and keep an eye on this one too, because I have another video of the exact same thing a little bit later that has had some work done to it, had the contrast changed. You know, the picture itself has been tinkered with, but not the video. And you guys are going to see something totally different. Just to keep everyone on the same page, I have an arrow pointing showing you exactly where the camper is parked on the screen. You're going to want to remember this for the video a little bit later. So here's a couple shots, couple photos from the explosion. And remember guys, this happened about 6 o'clock in the morning on the East Coast. So therefore, these photos were more than likely taken around probably 7:30 when the sun comes up. So, but now we're going to get into the last video we just saw. And guys, this surprised me, and I hope it's not some fake of some sort, but comparing it to other videos and other original pictures that I pulled offline, they match up perfectly. And if you do the little bit of work and change the saturation and the contrast to where you can see through the picture a little bit better, you actually see it all for yourself. And that's what I'm getting ready to show you right now. So now we're getting somewhere, so brace yourself. As soon as the explosion flashed, this is what the captured picture's from. The contrast and saturation's been tweaked a little bit. If you zoom in, you can definitely see that the camper is still there after the initial explosion. Now, the video we're getting ready to go into, I want you to pay attention to the right side of the screen and ask yourself, did this explosion come from this RV? Or was the RV just there for the speaker? Or are we being completely misled as usual? All right, on the screen on the left, circled in green, you can see the RV. On the right side of the screen is what they're calling the source of the explosion, as if it came from a possible, maybe that white car, or even something that maybe was underground or come from a building. But as far as you can see in the video, the initial blast did not come from that RV. That is, if these pictures and videos are exactly what they're showing. We don't know for sure, and we may not ever know for sure, but what kind of people would we be if we just sat back and accepted the final story that they put out from the news and didn't ask questions? Now, according to local authorities, a 63-year-old man, Anthony Quinn Warner, a Nashville resident, had a similar make and model RV as the one in the photos that was released to the public. Now, they also say that there was human remains found at the site of the explosion, and now basically they've sent off what they have to try to determine if it matches Anthony Warner. The word going around is that they found, due to, I guess, somebody calling in, and they went back and looked on a Google map, and they found, that's how they linked Anthony Warner to this known RV and compared it to the RV that they seen on the CCTV or the cameras in town. Now, this picture right here is on your screen. If you look at the air conditioner on top, it looks really tall and like it's squared off and vented in the back. Now, the little picture I have on the right, it seems to me that it's a different type of air conditioner. I do some air conditioning work, and I've been around, quite a few of them. And I can just almost tell by looking, the way that air conditioner looks in the back is not how that air conditioner should look compared to the way it's showing it on the front of the one that they took in town. More or less, to put things in simple terms, the one on the left of the screen is a little bit bigger model, while the one that was taken by the traffic light cam looks like a low profile Coleman air conditioning unit for an RV or in a camper. All right, I pulled this off Twitter. It's from Paul 04564902. He says that, it was some type of bomb. The source of the bomb, whether it was propane or something, who knows, but it says someone pulled up in a camper, got out and fired gunshots to draw attention. When police arrived, the loudspeaker attached to the camper was announcing anyone within hearing distance of the loudspeaker should evacuate, and the bomb would go off in 15 minutes. Therefore, leading everyone to believe that whoever done this or whatever the plot was behind it, there was not intention for collateral damage or, to hurt people. He was either sending a message, or he was just a very elaborate suicide attempt, basically. I don't know which one, but like I promised you guys earlier, the lady that lives in the boiling pot building, or the melting pot building, here is her testimony. I've chopped it down a little bit because they just kind of talk back and forth, and it was really long and drawn out, but I got most of the heavy duty information out of it. And when you listen to her story compared to most news articles, things are a little bit different, and it's pretty interesting. So here goes her testimony.
We have one of the witnesses, a resident who lives right down there, joining us on the phone right now to talk about what it was she saw. And this, folks, is very interesting. Let me make sure we've got her on the line. Can you hear me, ma'am?
Yes, I can.
Give us an idea of where you live, proximity to this RV, and then we'll get into what happened this morning.
Okay, I live at 166 2nd Avenue North. That's the building where the melting pot is located, and Rodizio. And the RV was parked right outside of our window. We're on the 3rd floor, and the RV was directly across the street from our apartment. Between 5 and 5:30 a.m., we heard very loud gunshots, repetitive, like 5 to 6 shots. I'm not sure, but very loud, and that woke us up. But we only heard it for a minute, and we just thought maybe, you don't know. You live downtown, you hear things. We've been living there for 15 years. Well, about 5 minutes later, we heard it again. And then I realized, and it was in the same place right outside of our window, basically on the street. So I called 911 for the first time at 5:32 this morning. I began to hear a broadcast from, like a recording coming from the RV. And it was saying, this vehicle has a bomb. If you can hear this message, you need to evacuate. And all that was happening, and it was still, that went on for about 30 minutes. And, I was listening to something that I think you guys just played on the news, and now I'm not as positive it was a male voice, but it was definitely a recorded voice.
A recorded voice, okay.
Consistent, saying, evacuate this area. This vehicle is a bomb. It has a bomb. And then it started the countdown, and the last count we heard was 8 minutes, and we were in our cars driving across the river. The gunshots, and I mentioned this before, and I'm not sure of this, but the gunshots were so loud, there is a possibility. We've wondered now if they weren't a recording that came from the vehicle as well.
Interesting.
We don't know that, but as we've reflected back on it, because we heard it 3 times, it was exactly the same. We wonder now if we weren't listening to a recording, but we don't know.
Can you think of anything there in your mind, and I'm just asking you as a citizen who lives in that area, that would have been a potential target?
No, I can't. Our thought was they must be after the AT&T building. That was our thought, just because, that's where they were parked, on that side of the street. They chose not, thank God, to go down to Broadway and destroy everything. So, our thought was they must have been aiming for the building that they parked close to.
Gotcha.
So guys, pretty much at this point in time, what we are left with is a small list of pretty simple questions that need to be asked. Was the lady that was speaking on the RV speaker, was it an actual woman? Is it an accomplice to this? Or was it a computer-generated voice, like a Siri? And was the camper air conditioning units, were they actually different? The one in the picture that was taken from the home definitely looks bigger than the one that was taken by the traffic cam. So there's our second question. In the 2 different videos, why was one car alarm sounding that sounded like a car horn? And in the other video, there was a car alarm that sounded more like a siren, even though the 2 videos supposed to be from the exact same location, but only one siren or horn alarm was heard in each individual video. What do you guys think about the lady towards the end of the video that gave her witness testimony? Could she be right? Could this be a targeted event against AT&T? Or what would be another good reason for this event to occur, given the fact that they did give an evacuation call 30 minutes ahead of time, making sure that nobody was injured in the process? And lastly, the picture or the video that's had some work done to it. Did the initial blast come from across the street in front of that white car? Guys, right now there's a lot of questions that need some answers, and there's still a whole lot of investigation to continue to get to the bottom of what happened downtown Nashville on Christmas morning. But there's one thing I am for sure of, and that is when the truth is out there to be found, I continue to never give up until I get as close as I possibly can to that truth. And don't ever be afraid to step back and ask questions. So you guys like these videos and really enjoy this content, make sure and leave this video a thumbs up, share it on all your social media platforms, and do not forget to leave your thoughts in the comments section below. Because remember guys, none of us can ever be greater than all of us. Take care of yourself, and I will see you all in the next video.